Hold up, Browns Nation. I need your full attention for the next few minutes because what I'm about to tell you could completely flip the script on how we view this upcoming season. While everyone's been obsessing over flashy signings and draft picks, the most important piece of Cleveland's championship puzzle just quietly locked himself back into place, and most people didn't even notice. We're talking about a move that could be the difference between another disappointing January sitting on the couch and actually watching our boys play meaningful football when it matters most. You know that feeling when you're missing something crucial, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. That was the Cleveland Browns offensive line last season. Something was fundamentally broken, and every snap felt like we were one mistake away from complete disaster. Deshaun Watson was running for his life. Our running game looked like it was moving through quicksand, and frustration was building with every failed third down conversion. The missing ingredient wasn't some flashy skill position player or defensive superstar. It was the anchor that holds everything together in the trenches. It was Joel Bitonio. But here's the thing that's got me fired up. He's back, and he's not just back as some aging veteran trying to squeeze out one last paycheck. This man is locked in, focused, and ready to remind the entire AFC North why he's been the heart and soul of Cleveland's offensive line for over a decade. When Bitonio talks about his future, he doesn't sound like someone who's counting down the days until retirement. He sounds like a player who still has that burning desire to prove something, to leave everything on the field, to be part of something special. Listen to what he said about last season. There wasn't even a thought in his mind about hanging up the cleats. Not even close. While his body was telling him one thing after those brutal AFC North battles, his competitive fire was telling him something completely different. That's not the mentality of someone who's ready to fade into the sunset. That's the mentality of a warrior who knows his team needs him, who understands that his presence alone can transform an entire unit from mediocre to elite. Think about what happens when Bitonio is healthy and playing at his peak level. The entire offensive line elevates. The younger guys feed off his energy and experience. The protection schemes work the way they're supposed to. Suddenly, Watson has time to survey the field instead of feeling phantom pressure that isn't even there. The running lanes open up because defenders can't just pin their ears back and rush upfield without consequences. Everything clicks into place like a perfectly tuned machine. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. He's in his 12th season. Father Time is undefeated. Can he really still be that dominant force we need? Here's what I love about Bitonio's approach to this question. He's not making promises he can't keep or pretending he's got 5 more years left in the tank. He's taking it one game at a time, staying present, staying hungry. His focus isn't on some distant future. It's on December and January, when championship dreams either come true or die painful deaths. That mindset tells you everything you need to know about where this man's head is at. He's not playing for individual accolades or statistical milestones. He's playing for those January games that every Browns fan has been dreaming about for decades. He wants to be part of a playoff run that actually means something, not just a wild card appearance where we get bounced in the first round and call it progress. But here's the reality check we all need to face. This can't be a one-man show. The Browns organization knows that Bitonio's window is closing, whether that's after this season or maybe one more after that. The clock is ticking on finding and developing his successor, someone who can learn from the master and eventually carry that torch forward. Last year's offensive line struggles weren't just about one missing player, but his absence exposed just how much this team relies on veteran leadership and consistency in the trenches. The front office can't afford to wait until Bitonio retires to start grooming his replacement. They need to be developing that next generation right now, while they still have access to one of the best guards in franchise history who can teach them not just the technical aspects of the position, but the mental side of the game that separates good players from great ones. The knowledge transfer needs to happen while Bitonio is still suited up, still competing at the highest level, still showing these young guys what it means to be a professional. And let's talk about what this means for the bigger picture in Cleveland. The AFC North isn't getting any easier. The Ravens are always going to be physical and well-coached. The Bengals have that explosive offensive capability that can torch you if you're not ready. Even Pittsburgh, in whatever transition phase they're in, still plays that brand of football that can make your life miserable if you're not prepared for it. In this division, you don't get to take plays off, and you certainly don't get to have weak links on your offensive line. The clock is ticking, the pressure is mounting, and for the first time since he arrived in Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski's job security feels genuinely uncertain. This isn't just fan frustration or media speculation anymore. When Vegas is taking bets on your employment status, when your own success stories from previous years feel like distant memories, when the talent around you is too good to waste, that's when you know everything is on the line. So what happens next? Does Stefanski rise to the moment and finally put together the kind of season that silences all the doubters? Does he prove that the inconsistency was just growing pains and that he's learned from those tough years? Or are we about to witness the final chapter of an era in Cleveland that showed so much promise but couldn't quite get over the hump? The season ahead will answer those questions, and Browns fans everywhere will be watching every snap, every play call, every decision with the intensity of people who've been burned too many times before. The talent is there, the expectations are clear, and the pressure has never been higher. Kevin Stefanski's Cleveland story is about to reach its climax, and honestly, nobody knows how it's going to end. If you're as invested in this storyline as I am, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Browns Breakout for all the latest analysis and breakdowns. This season is going to be wild, and we'll be here to break down every twist and turn along the way.